Hey, everybody, and welcome to WCNC Charlotte's virtual mock draft room. Of course, the NFL draft will be back in person this year. We're not able to do that, so I've got everybody that we had last year with me, and we're going to do this a little bit differently. Last year, we live reacted to each pick all the way through the Panthers pick. This year, we're being a little proactive, and we are going to each play a role in the Panthers draft war room and come out with a pick, whether that's eighth, whether the team trades back, what have you. It's going to be an unbelievably wild night. We're going to try to kick it off right here. So we have Julian Council of On Panthers. He is representing the entirety of the Panthers scouting department, whatever that means. But I know Julian's got a lot of opinions on all these players and what the Panthers are looking to do. We have Eugene Robinson, 16-year NFL safety. He is playing the Panthers head coach, Matt Rule, and bringing his perspective. And up there, we've got John Ellis, who does a whole lot of stuff at On Panthers Place and beyond. He is GM Scott Fitter, so I know he's got his phone standing by. I'm your host, Nick Carboni, and I'm also David Tepper, just to, because I like to meddle, so I'm going to do that too. So, gentlemen, I've sent you all the draft picks so far leading up to the 8th pick. I will reveal them now. Trevor Lawrence, shocker, goes to the Jags. Zach Wilson to the Jets. Mac Jones to the 49ers, despite all the smoke this week. The Falcons go tight end Kyle Pitts. Bengals, sorry, Julian, they've got left tackle Penei Sewell. You knew that wasn't happening. The Dolphins will take wide receiver Jamar Chase. And the Patriots have traded up ahead of the Panthers with the Lions. And Bill Belichick's going to take quarterback Trey Lance. So who does that leave us? That leaves us, a quarterback in Justin Fields. It leaves us with a cornerback in Patrick Surtain, a tackle in Rashawn Slater, Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner, and wide receiver also there, and a bevy of other names. So let's get started. Gentlemen, we are on the clock. Okay, GM Scott Fitterer, Bill Belichick has traded up ahead of you to the Lions to take Trey Lance. There's a quarterback on the board, but you just acquired a quarterback in Sam Darnold. So what are your thoughts here as a pretty enticing prospect sits there at 8?
All right, guys, here's my thoughts. All right, so we've got Trey Lance off the board. Obviously, that's a guy we looked at, we liked. Justin Fields, who would have thought we'd have him at 8 here? We talked, weeks ago about this guy being a top 3-4 pick. Possibly a generational talent, possibly. I know there's some medical issues that have come out. I know we've talked about that, all of us, but I just think it's real important for us to look really hard at this quarterback. I know we have just a short amount of time here, 9 minutes on the clock here. We could trade back. On the board here, I like Waddle. I like Slater a lot. Slater could solidify that left tackle. I'm leaning Fields, guys. I really am. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Jeannie Rob, you've got to be pretty excited about your quarterback in Sam Darnold that you just got. Do you want to take another one?
No, I do not want to take another quarterback. I mean, first of all, you got the learning curve of the quarterback. It's just too much. We had a learning curve last year. Then don't forget, Christian McCaffrey, my main guy, was out the entire time, roughly the entire time. That puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, to be even spectacular. So I don't want to have to go ahead and teach a quarterback, even though he's a great talent. I don't want to have to go back through that again. Give me someone that has already has some playing experience. And that's why we went out and got Darnold. Right? We got Darnold for a reason because you've already done all the stuff. We just think he's in the wrong system. We want to put him in our system under our coach, and we think that we can get the quality out of this young man, and he could be that number 1 pick. That's why we went after him. So I'm going to reserve and say, hey, I don't want Justin Fields. I know you're good. I don't need you. My needs are totally different, and my needs are on the defensive side of the ball, and I got to solidify a middle linebacker. That's who I need. I need one of them guys to get after. Don't forget, with the Carolina Panthers, the history of the Carolina Panthers, it's been John Beeson. It's been, what was the other guy from Miami, University of Miami?
Dan Morgan.
Yeah. John Beeson. And then Luke Kuechly. Then we've kind of fallen off the edge a little bit, all right? No fault of our own. We just fell off the edge. We had a number of guys kind of replaced. Then you had Tahir Whitehead there. I need a linebacker. You put Shaq at the middle. He's not a middle linebacker. He's an outside backer. Let him eat on the outside. So I got to look for a guy in the draft, and I found a couple of guys in the draft that I want to get my hands on.
All right, Coach.
Make my pick. Can I hold off, or you want me to make my pick?
Not yet.
All right.
Coach, you're making the money, by the way. You're the highest paid
Coach.
guy on the, other than you, Dave. Other than you,
Julian
Tep, you're
Council,
the money man.
Scouting department. I'm going to be David Tepper for a second. I respect these guys, but dude, this Justin Fields kid is making me goo-eyed. Like, I need a franchise quarterback. You've watched him play in college. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw the Clemson game in the playoff, and that's pretty much all I needed to know how good this quarterback was.
What a scouting department.
Behind Trevor Lawrence, I feel like this is the second best quarterback in the draft. I'm not sure what other teams are seeing out there. Mac Jones, who had a fantastic season at Alabama, but he was throwing to the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith. Also, Jalen Waddle might have been the best wide receiver on that team, and he was unavailable for the majority of the season. And you had a great offensive line. So that's fine. That's San Francisco's problem. I do love Justin Fields, but I do go back to what Coach Rule just said, Eugene, that you just traded for Sam Darnold a couple weeks ago. He is a former top 3 pick. You look at what's around him now with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, who he had success with in New York Jets. Christian McCaffrey back hopefully for a full 17-game season. You had David Moore, who had a career year last year in Seattle with Russell Wilson. And now you have a pass-catching tight end, Dan Arnold. You would think with Joe Brady as the OC for another season in this system, if he's ever going to succeed, it would be with these players around him. But I will say this. I do like the rookie contract aspect of it. I do think Justin Fields is more athletic. I think he's a better player, at least long-term can be a better player. But I really feel like solidifying an offensive tackle and finding something to build around Sam Darnold is what we should do right now, and then see how that works. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Back next year, looking at a quarterback. Again, we did have Teddy last year. I don't think he was ever in our plans to be a long-term fit. That didn't work out with Sam Darnold. Let's actually see if he can work under Matt Rule and in this offense, opposed to drafting another quarterback when we don't even have a left tackle and have not drafted a first-round tackle since Jeff Otah back in 2008.
Who's it going to be? Who's your favorite tackle on the board, Scout?
Well, it was Penei Sewell.
We're about halfway to the pick now.
I loved him out of Oregon. He was the Outland Trophy Award winner 2 years ago back when he was protecting Justin Herbert's blindside at Oregon. Great player, opted out this last season, but he's super athletic. He's gone. Rashawn Slater, the arm length is something that concerns people, but he was really good against Chase Young back when Chase Young was at Ohio State.
Great tape, yeah.
Against him at Northwestern. I think he's a really good player, and I just feel like that's the second best tackle on this board. Yeah, we could trade back, but is Christian Darrisaw, is that a guy who's going to be good enough for us long term? Middle linebacker.
Oh, go ahead.
Middle linebacker is interesting for sure. I just wonder how multiple this defense is. Are we going to be playing a lot of two inside linebackers? Traditionally, there've been a lot of 4-man fronts, 3 linebackers, and not just traditional middle linebacker like a Dan Morgan that you mentioned, and like a Luke Kuechly and like a John Beeson. I honestly kind of like Denzel Perryman, who we just brought in.
All right, Coach Rule, I overruled you earlier, but let me know quickly, because we're over the halfway mark, who your linebackers of choice would be.
I want the kid, Michael Parsons. I want the kid from
Penn State.
He got size, he got speed, he has incredible range. If you look at his numbers and what he was able to accomplish in a pandemic season, all right, he had 52 tackles. We would multiply that, extrapolate that out to 10, 11 games. He's plus 100 tackles, what you want. He's plus almost 10 sacks, what you want. At the linebacker position, that means this guy is a blitzer. This guy is a guy, when he gets up in the A-gap, you're going to go like this. You're going to get all doom calls. Everybody's going to be blocking down. Know why? Because they're afraid this guy coming through the middle to go ahead and sack your quarterback. And now, who do I have on the outside to eat? Brian Burns. I got the Burns on the outside to go ahead and eat. So I can go ahead and take this kid with the fame that he's going to come in and the fact that he can blitz, put him in the A-gap. You're going to get linemen making all their calls to take care of the A-gap. And now I got one-on-one with a back with Brian Burns. That's what I want. I'm looking strategically, and I think that we've been woeful that, let me just say this. We were 49% on third down efficiency. You can't score enough points to go ahead and to beat that stat. You got to get the stat down. That stat has to be in the 30s. If you're going to be a good defense, a top 10 defense, you got to be in them 30s. You can't be 49.5. That means, 5 out of 10, you're converting.
Yeah.
You're moving. My defense is tired on the field. So I need someone like a Luke Kuechly, like a Beeson, with that range, with that speed, ability to blitz, and to cover, to go ahead and manage Burns, Brown up front. We got a good team, but we're lacking one position, and I see it. Well, it's got to be that middle linebacker.
GM Scott Fitter, I saw you look at a text. What do you got? We got 2 minutes until the pick comes in.
We've got a team, like Philadelphia at 12. I'm getting a text from Howie Roseman that he might want to trade up with us here. So he's at 12, we're at 8. Is anybody interested in taking that trade, potentially picking up another second, maybe a first next year? And you got J.C. Horn, another guy we scouted, the corner from South Carolina, who will be available there, I think. I'm high on this guy. I think he's a dog. I think he's Jalen Ramsey type. Anybody out there interested in pulling the trigger on this? What do we think?
Coach, real quick, what do you got? Can we get a cornerback and trade back and recoup something? Minute and a half.
Super Bowl should have taught you one thing. The Super Bowl should have taught you one thing. The pressure that was put on Patrick Mahomes from the defensive front and the linebacking crew, that's all you needed to know about how good your secondary is going to be. I need some dogs up front, and I believe it starts with my linebacker. I got enough dogs. I got Jeremy Chin. I could drop down also as a modified linebacker to put pressure, but I need a dog in the middle. I need somebody like that, so I don't really need a cornerback, because cornerbacks, you haven't heard that much about all those cornerbacks until the KC game, because Tampa Bay was putting so much pressure on the quarterback.
Scotty, what do we get if we trade back? Who's going to be left for us? Real quick, we got 45 seconds to pick.
I'm thinking J.C. Horn would be the guy. I think he's one of the guys that's on the board. I don't think Fields will be there. I think he gets gobbled up by Denver. And I'll say this, Micah Parsons might be there. He might. If you look at what's in front of us here.
Tell me about J.C. Horn.
No, he's a good player. I love him. He's a guy who opted out late in the season for South Carolina, but for the right reasons. A really good player. Of course, we remember him back because his dad, Joe Horn. So obviously comes from an athletic family. And I look at it on the defense. Coach brings up a good point. Eugene does that. Linebacker is a position of need, but I feel like corner, just long term, is Dante Jackson in a Panther next year? Is AJ Boya, who we just brought in, is he a Carolina Panther?
8 seconds. Sorry.
Solidify having corner
has
there.
been cut off. Eugene and John, what are we doing?
Coach, you make the money here. You are the highest paid coach in this team's history. You're making the call, Coach.
I'm making the call right now, and I'm picking Micah Parsons from Penn State.
Can we trade back and do that, John? We trade with the Eagles?
I think we can do it. Let's go ahead and make that trade. Let's pull that trade with Howie Roseman, because in front of them, you've got the Giants. They're pretty well set there. Dallas, you know what? No. Nope, we're not doing it. We're going to take Parsons now. Dallas, Sean Lee just retired. If we want Parsons, you got to do it now.
At 8?
Get the card in.
At 8. Absolutely. At 8.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
He's going to go in the first round anyway, so who do you want to – I'm telling you, we need that young man.
Coach, are you
in? It's Micah Parsons at 8 for the Carolina Panthers.
Just a little postscript here. Are you good on Darnold for the 5th-year option? You feel good about him?
I feel good about Darnold for the 5th-year option.
You're coaching, not me. I'm up here just making phone calls. You're the one out there coaching.
I feel good about Darnold. That's why we went to go get him. And, Teddy Bridgewater would just be that little stopgap right now. But it's Darnold that we're sticking our hat on.
Awesome.
There we go.
That's a wrap.